Well, folks, the young stars, the next generation are obviously officially here. The last 2 days of tennis has been absolutely amazing and brought some of the best matches of the year, bar none. We saw Alcaraz stun Tsitsipas in a meeting of the next gen and the next gen. We saw Annie Fernandez come up clutch and shock Osaka. Felix Auger-Aliassime clutch against RBA. TFO beats Rublev, and Djokovic struggles. So the young players are the stars of right now, and Djokovic is going for his Grand Slam still. So let's talk about all the news packed into this first week and what we can expect going into the second week here at the US Open. Our coverage presented by our friends at Rally Tennis here on The Slice. Welcome to the show. Well, this is one of the most exciting nights, folks, that I think we've seen all year at major tennis, especially yesterday with the amount of matches. It was just like one after another of, upsets and young players just having like a career-defining entering moment. And that was just amazing to see. It was just absolutely awesome to have like the classic night matches happening again at the US Open. It just feels kind of starting to feel a little bit more like normal, which is awesome. The Slices coverage, like we said, is presented by Rally Tennis. They're our partners in this year's tournament. Rally Tennis is your app where you can go find local tennis players to play with, compete in local leagues, and play in the playoffs. So it's basically a way for you to up your tennis game if you want, to just connect with more tennis players and just get deeper into the sport we all love. So download their app right now. The link is below. And shout out to Rally Tennis for supporting the Slice during this tournament. Like I said, this tournament is, I think, absolutely heated up now. In the last 48 hours, I think we've seen the best match, some of the best matches, like bar none, of the whole year in Grand Slam tennis. Now, like last time when I brought up the draw, I had like a bunch of matches circled, and basically all those pulled through and were just absolutely amazing. So, I mean, where do we start? Let's start with Alcaraz versus Tsitsipas. Now, Alcaraz, we all know him as the, everyone talks about him. Who's he look like? Then he's the youngest. Everyone loves to find like the youngest guy, and he's been on everyone's radar for a long time. It's not new. But yesterday, I think he showed the world how much power he really has on the fast courts of the US Open against Tsitsipas, who's been playing great, and for most of that match played pretty good. Alcaraz just really, really showed up. It was crazy to me how much damage he was able to do to Tsitsipas from just in like neutral spots in a rally, it seemed. Even Tsitsipas after the match said he'd almost never seen balls get hit that hard. He was amazed by the ball speed, and that took him back. I do think, if you follow us on Instagram, which you should at the Slice Tennis, I do think Stefanos should not have lost that match. The first set, Alcaraz took him by surprise and kind of like showed him, and then he got back into it and he won the second set fairly solidly. And then he was up a double break in the third set. And I was actually not able to watch after that. I had a commitment. But he then gave up the double break, lost that set, won the next set in a bagel, and then just kept it around. Honestly, that's a tough result. That's a disappointing result for Tsitsipas. You would think with the experience that he's had in these big matches with the five-setters, he'd be able to finish that out, find a way, but he didn't. And that's all credit to Alcaraz, who just absolutely stepped up. Young Carlos just falls to the ground as he wins, and it's just an epic night. I think the way that he plays, people ask, is it more like Nadal? He said if anyone, he's took his game after Federer, and that's kind of the amount of aggression he has with his forehand. His forehand seems kind of similar to Federer's. Just so much pop, though, on both sides. And now he plays in his next round, Djokovic from Germany. So Carlos Alcaraz is the big favorite there. TFO beat Rublev, like we talked about. I thought TFO would do this. I put a little money on it. Speaking of little money, everyone's talking about betting right now. If you're going to bet on tennis, you better not be messaging players when they lose and heckling them. That's just the absolute degenerate life. We're not about that. But if you are going to bet on the tournaments, you should use Bet, who is our betting partners for the US Open. It's a great platform. It's where you can see the scores live, place your bets, and just play along. It's pretty fun to do while it's going on. And I would take Carlos Alcaraz over Djokovic all day long. And I did take TFO going over Rublev, and that's what happened. Super back and forth match. Another five-setter. We've seen like a million five-setters this tournament. It's been amazing. TFO came up strong there at the end. Too much for Rublev. Rublev's the number 5 seed, and he's he's just really not been playing in the slams up to his potential. I feel it's been disappointing for his side for sure. Amazing for TFO, takes a shot off the end, beats his chest, LeBron James-esque. Like, I tweeted out, imagine not liking Francis TFO. Anyways, another young gunner, Felix Auger-Aliassime, Canadian, takes out Roberto Bautista Agut. He was the higher seed, so it was technically the favorite, but RBA is a big-time player, and he gave up a two-set to love lead, Felix, went to a fifth, and then he was able to come up clutch. At the end there, he went down love 30 when he was trying to serve it out. Ace, big forehand, ace. I think he ended it on like a super aggressive forehand, which was just clutch, hard to do in the pressure moments. And I was super proud of Felix there for him being able to pull that off. Because like I said, against RBA, that's just a super, super hard thing to do. So big ups there for Felix. Then on the women's side for the Canadians, it's the Canadian takeover in general. Chapo did lose today, but Bianca Andreescu threw, and then Leila Annie Fernandez out of nowhere. A lot of people who aren't Canadian might not know who she is, but she's been very good for at least a year now on the WTA Tour. She takes out Naomi Osaka in a three-setter. Come from behind. Just amazing scenes. She falls, it's Osaka, is not the Osaka that we've seen, especially last year with all she's gone through in the summer and, her mental health struggles. She's been very open about, obviously. But Leila Annie Fernandez just stepping up and getting it done with her. She's, lefty, and she gets down kind of like Angelique Kerber on those low balls. So much power on that lively arm. She's such a small girl. Super good for her. And I loved what she said after when the announcer asked, when did you believe that you could win this match? And she's like, from before it started, from, when I woke up this morning, I believed I could do it. And everyone was like, yes, that's the attitude you need. So that's amazing from Leila Annie. It's a Canadian takeover. We're going to start calling this the Canadian Open, I think. Anyways, let's look here now at the fourth round, the round of 16. We're just touching on some of the matches. Brooksby versus Karatsev. Brooksby beat Fritz, and then he beat Karatsev in 5. He sees a tennis match. He's like, we're going 5 sets. So now Brooksby is going to be playing Djokovic, who beat Nishikori today. Quickly, Djokovic struggled today against Nishikori. He lost the first set in 6-3, 6-3, 6-2 after that. I think he was only probably at his C or B level, depending on different points in the match. Nishikori was playing nice, which was good to see. It was nice to see him playing better. But Djokovic, every part of his game seemed to struggle a little bit today. But he's able to find a way through, which you'd expect. But what is that concerning to you, Djokovic fans? I don't know. To me, not. I found like he struggled in all of the Grand Slams, maybe except for Wimbledon, on his way there. So I didn't feel like Nishikori had what it takes to take him out. But obviously, a guy like Berrettini or a guy like Zverev could. And if he had an off day like that, that would get a lot dicier, I think. So Jenson Brooksby versus Djokovic. I can only imagine this going one way. The crowd's going to be super behind Brooksby, which Djokovic will hate, and he'll get pissed off at some point. Brooksby's game is going to do a lot of weird things to Djokovic anyways. He's going to be able to mix it. Djokovic doesn't adapt as well to players mixing it up on him as he does to guys just hitting hard, serving big. Djokovic will get pissed off that the crowd's behind Brooksby, and then that'll force Djokovic to go to beast mode, and then I think Djokovic will win this in 4 sets or one tight set in straights. But yeah, Brooksby's had an awesome run here at the Open. Amazing player to watch. Like I said in the last video, the grunt has to go. He's going to get better at that, we hope. That'll just be primetime money to see, though. Djokovic versus Brooksby, that's going to be really cool. Then we got Zverev versus Sinner. Zverev came through Sock today. Sinner had an epic 5-set win over Monfils, where he almost lost it 3 different times, where he did give up the lead in the 3rd set, 4th set, almost in the 5th set, but he came through. That's going to be a big match for both guys. Obviously, Zverev's a big favorite in that quarter, and on that half, he's the obvious challenge to Djokovic. A lot of people think he's got a great chance to win this U.S. Open. I think he does too. I think he thinks he does too. So Zverev's going to be the favorite there. Will he be able to handle the moment and just be solid? I think if he does, he needs to play better than he did against Sock tonight. I think he'll be the favorite there for sure, but kind of similar styles, honestly. Massive wings from both sides, Sinner and Zverev. On forehand and backhand. So that's going to be an interesting match to watch in that way. And then Luke Harris took out Shapovalov. Honestly, he was just too good for Shapovalov tonight. What Shapovalov was doing, his shots just weren't hurting Luke Harris. He played an amazing match, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. He's going to be playing Opelka in the 4th round, who's playing very nice, he's a serve bot. He talks about it. Everyone's talking about the serve bot. He is a serve bot, but he's playing a lot better. I'm about to tell him next time we chat, I'm like, bro, you are looking too good out there. to be, you said it to be a serve bot. It's got to be annoying to watch. I like watching Rayo Opelka play because he can ball from lots of places in the courts. Bottom half, we got TFO versus Felix Auger-Aliassime. That's absolute money, prime time, classic matchup right there. And then on the bottom, we got Evans versus Medvedev. Like I said, I would put my house on Medvedev making it to the final at this point now, especially with Tsitsipas out. But that's an awesome opportunity for guys like TFO or Auger-Aliassime or Alcaraz to get to the semifinal. That's pretty crazy. It is crazy. Think about this. One of TFO, Auger-Aliassime, Djokovic, I'm butchering that name, and Alcaraz, one of those 4 guys will be in the semifinals of the U.S. Open. That's awesome. That's just awesome for them. So it's the young players' turnout. Again, on the women's side, there's so many to go over. It's just going to take forever to go through them. Emma Raducanu from Britain almost gives out the double bagel today in her match, which is just amazing. She's, she had to qualify here. Now she's into the round of 16. She beats Sorribes Tormo, veteran, 0-1. That's just insane. So now she's playing Shelby Rogers, who just took out Ash Barty. It's just mayhem night now for all the upsets, all the big moments for these players who aren't as well known. Ash Barty went to serve it out. Couldn't do it. Shelby Rogers comes back and takes her out. So that's amazing. Shelby Rogers versus Raducanu. We got Bencic versus Fiatek. That's clutch money. We got Sakari now versus Andreescu. I think they played it back in Miami, and I think Andreescu beat her there. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look it up. But that's a sweet match to watch. That's a good matchup. Then we got Svitolina versus Halep, Kerber versus Leilani Fernandez. Then the veteran versus, I just mentioned Kerber. They both go down low to that deep baseline shot, and they can just pick it up no problem. It's an amazing shot. They both got it. Krajikova versus Muguruza, and then Mertens versus Sabalenka on the bottom. It's a star-studded women's side, more so than the men's. There's been less upsets on the women's for the first time since I've started covering tennis, so it's been pretty amazing, and that's right. So a preview of the 4th week is just saying buckle up, because it's going to be nonstop amazing tennis going forward here on the women's and the men's side, because on the women's side, we got all the stars. They're lining up. We got the Canadian takeover happening. We got Andreescu and Leilani Fernandez. Andreescu still never lost a match at the U.S. Open. Crazy. And on the men's side, like we said, right now we got, I think, Djokovic and Zverev on a freight train to meet in the semifinals, and then Medvedev waiting for the winner of that in the final. It's going to be awesome. I don't know what's going to go down, but we got to wait and see. So welcome to the 2nd week. Thanks for being here on The Slice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and send it to a friend of yours that needs to know more about tennis. Maybe they suck at tennis, and this is a nice way for you to let them know. We'll see you next time, guys, on The Slice. Follow us at The Slice on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date. Thanks.